Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we have North Carolina once again because North Carolina has a governor's race this year, and we are hoping to flip this governorship. However, we would have flipped the governorship for sure if it weren't for, as you know, the now incumbent GOP chairman. Let's see who that is again. The incumbent GOP chairman, and that is Michael Watley. And he was the former chairman of the North Carolina GOP. He was a very good guy. He's in probably most effective GOP leader in North Carolina state history. He had led the state to multiple victories against Democrats. The only defeats he managed to retain is the defeat to Roy Cooper, a Democrat who is very well approved in the state of North Carolina. We'll be taking a look at the primaries, which were held on the 5th of March, and kind of take a little analysis on what the results were like in North Carolina. Let's start off, though, with North Carolina, the 2024 North Carolina gubernatorial election. Josh Stein is the incumbent North Carolina Attorney General. He will be taking on Mark Robinson, the incumbent Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. It is my belief in most polls that Robinson would win. However, what we are seeing right now is more of a toss-up. I am really counting on a Robinson victory, but it looks like, according to most recent polls, Josh Stein is going to win this race. But who knows? It could be a close race overall. Let's see the overall results. You'll see Josh Stein won the contest, the Democratic primary, with 69.64% of the popular vote against his opponent, Michael R. Morgan, who is a judge from the state of North Carolina. He managed to win all counties except for these 3 counties. I think this is Polk County, or Polk County is somewhere, but he managed to win every county. I think 97 counties, except for these 3 counties, which went to Morgan in the Democratic primary. That said, Stein won over 476,000 votes, while only Morgan won only 97,000 votes. And now that 97 is probably scattered around, as you know, the Black Belt here. Morgan, being a person of color, will probably attract more black voters, and that's what it's looking like right here. More the black belt is kind of shady, a little lighter here. Although I will say, not all, most of the black belt didn't go for Morgan. Stein did go and win the northern black belt, which is also surprising. So Robinson ended up winning the nomination against Dale Folwell, who honestly didn't stand a chance, according to polls. Folwell is the said former is the current state treasurer of North Carolina, and he was endorsed by the former governor James G. Martin. But yeah, he ended up getting crushed by Mark Robinson, who won 64.8% of the popular vote. Comparing that to Josh Stein's margin, Stein won a bigger victory, 69.64, and he managed to lose counties compared to Robinson, who won by a lesser margin, won more counties. And I'm guessing it's because, once again, there was, of course, a split vote. Dale Folwell and Bill Graham. Let's see, Bill Graham. He sounds familiar. I'm thinking of another guy, but he was a candidate for 2008 gubernatorial election, but Graham ultimately lost. So yeah, if it weren't for Folwell and Graham split ticketing, Mark Robinson would definitely lose some counties. It would look like probably Mecklenburg County and this county right up here. That's what it kind of is looking like. Let's take now a look now at the lieutenant governor's race. The Democratic primary has chosen Rachel Hunt for its party's nominee. You have lots of different colors here, but Hunt is ultimately. Oh yeah, this is the Republican primary. Excuse me. But let's take a look at the Democratic primary. Hunt won most counties, as you know. Clark, her opponent is Ben Clark, carried the counties in orange, while the counties in green, excuse me. And then you have Mark H. Robinson, another Mark Robinson, carried the counties in orange. All right, so we got orange counties over here in the 2024 Democratic race. So and it became clear that Rachel Hunt and her background is a state senator, and was the daughter of the former governor Jim Hunt, which ultimately that gives her some advantage in this said opportunity here, and that's something we gotta keep in mind. We gotta be weary that she's let's see. It depends on if Jim Hunt was a very popular guy. He is still alive and trucking well, 86 years old. Yeah, he's a popular guy. He swept the state of North Carolina. So that's something we need to be weary about, guys. I'm not kidding. We got to be weary towards Jim Hunt because he could possibly take us up. His daughter will probably take us by surprise and ultimately win the lieutenant governor's race. We should keep that race. We want to keep the lieutenant governor office also. So that is something. Apparently, there are no poll results, but that Republican candidate is to be determined. We take a look at the Republican race, and you'll see that it's pretty much a tie. You have Jim O'Neill, Sam Page. The overall result shows Hal Weatherman facing off Jim O'Neill in a primary. Now, when that primary is going to be, we'll find out. March? Because 11 candidates are running in the Republican primary, there exists the possibility of no candidate receiving 30% of the popular vote required to avoid a second primary. If no candidate reaches that threshold, the runner-up can request a second primary, in other words, a runoff, which will be held on May 14th. So yes, we will be covering North Carolina again for those runoffs on said May 14th to cover up the said lieutenant governor's, the Republican nominee. But overall, look at that. You got 6 parties, as in candidates, claiming some counties. Most counties are going to Weatherman. And Hal Weatherman, which we got to see. Hal Weatherman is only been in the Rhino times. Let me guess, he's a Rhino. Ha ha. Jeffrey Elmore. And then there's Alan Mashborn. They're not in this race anymore. O'Neill has got 0 endorsements. However, surprisingly, he did very well. O'Neill won the counties in yellow over here. But overall, it was, I believe, Weatherman that won all these counties over here. So I predict Weatherman to end up winning the nomination in May. But we'll check out those elections also. Attorney General. So we got, this is easy one. Jeff Jackson, the Democratic nominee, and Dan Bishop, the Republican nominee. We have Jeff Jackson winning the nomination by 54.85% of the popular vote, sweeping the state of North Carolina, as you should see. He won this by 54%. Once again, you need over 50% to win the nomination in the state of North Carolina. Jeff Jackson easily won that, winning over 368,000 votes. And Santana DeBerry is in the counties of Santa DeBerry is in green over here. She performed best more in rural areas than in urban areas. So yeah, I believe this is the county where Raleigh is, but she did good there. But over there. All right, Republican primary, Dan Bishop easily won unopposed. And despite running unopposed, Dan Bishop easily won the nomination by the endorsement of Donald Trump. So really, I don't know if there was a primary held, but he couldn't have won every single county. I don't know. you got to do some research on New York Times about that, because we have 0 votes. That means 0 count people voted equals he won no counties. So I don't know. But it's saying there was a primary, but we will see. State Secretary of State Elaine Marshall has won this nomination, and then there's Chad Brown. So apparently we have Elaine Marshall, and she is the incumbent North Carolina Secretary of State. We want to flip this election. Secretary of State, we think once again that this it's predicting leaning Democrat. I'm guessing they like Miss Elaine Marshall. She won 51.16%. Who knows? We might take her out in November, but it would be great to take her out. But we already got the nominee, and that is Chad Brown. Now, Elaine Marshall, I don't know if there was a Democratic primary, but apparently we have no info on that. Mr. Brown ended up winning the nomination by 43.28%. Apparently, I guess you got to get over 30% of the popular vote. I was wrong. Excuse me. But yes, you just saw here 43.28% in the state of North Carolina. He beat his opponent, Christine Villaverde, who ended up winning 257,000 votes, 29.97% of the popular vote. She performed best in New Hanover County, some in the Raleigh area. So in some ways, she did good winning urban areas also. Mr. Brown also beat Jesse Thompson, Jesse Thomas, excuse me, who won in 3 counties in northeastern Carolina. That said, the Gaston County Commissioner and the candidate for Secretary of State, Chad Brown, has been nominated for the said to face off Elaine Marshall in the Secretary of State election. I would honestly predict Marshall to win. Chad Brown, he's as you know, a commissioner from Gaston County, but who knows? This could be a leaning Democrat according to most predictions. This only prediction Sabuda's crystal. So I honestly hope that Brown could perform a miracle, but we'll see. Auditor's race. Let's see. Auditor's race, we don't really have. I think Jessica Holmes ran unopposed. You'll see there's candidates Louis Toledo and Beth Wood. They didn't even bother. They withdrew. Jessica Holmes most likely won this nomination unopposed. Lucky for her. Let's see. Oh, yeah, she is the state auditor, incumbent state auditor. Republicans chose Jack. Okay. Disclaimer. We have not chosen a nominee, and that nominee will be selected on May 11th. So Jack Clark and Dave Bullock are going to be challenging each other, and these are 2 no-namers. We have David Bullock. Who ever heard of this guy? Attorney and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill trustee. Then you have Jack Clark, who is a public accountant. Okay, I would rather have this guy, the attorney, than the accountant, because anyone can be an accountant and run for auditor. I don't know. But yes, it seems that Clark has actually done the best, winning 197,000 votes, 23.2% of the popular vote. 1 point better than Dave Bullock, who won 22.1%. Now, get rid of Charles Dingy, Jeff Tarte, Tony Street, and Jim Key, who actually both all performed best in this election, getting 1 county each. Congratulations, guys. I think that, yeah, there's a chance that Bullock could win because of overall namesake. I am really low confidence that we're going to win in this election. I hate to be so negative, but yes, there's a chance. Okay. There's a chance that we would win. Jessica Holmes must have been elected, not elected, must have been appointed by the governor to replace Wood. Yeah, she said incumbent Democratic auditor Beth Wood initially said she would run for re-election to a fifth term in office. Wow, she's been in there for a while. However, her career was derailed when she pleaded guilty to a hit and run charge in March 2023. On November 1st, 2023, Wood announced that she would not seek re-election on November 9th, announced that she would resign effective December 15th. Governor Roy Cooper appointed Democrat Jessica Holmes to replace Wood. Holmes is a former Wake County commissioner and was the Democratic nominee for the North Carolina Commissioner of Labor in 2020. And she must have lost that election. Yes, she did. Who knows? We actually might beat her, because usually what happens if you are found guilty and convicted, you're in a politician, your seat's most likely going to flip. We saw that from Mr. Santos, George Santos, just back in, I would say, March. So, interestingly enough, there's hope. Even though these are no-namers, we can probably beat her, I think, hopefully. But yeah, I guess whoever wins. But let's take a look at the treasurer race. We have, you should see, we got Brad Brenner and Wesley Harris. They are the nominees for the Democrat Republican Party. They will face off on November 5th. But yes, Brad Brenner, 39.9%. That's more than enough to win the nomination. Again, and having defeated Rachel Johnson and A.G. Dowd. Yes, and it seems like Republican Dale Folwell is not running for re-election. And it's predicted. I don't know if it's predicted, but yes, this is what the map looks like. Brad Brenner winning most counties, Johnson and Dowd picking up some counties in the state of North Carolina. We have Wesley Harris, picking up every county except for this county right up here. I don't know what that county is, but that county ended up going to his opponent, Gabe Esparza, who won the election by 33.4%. So that was kind of interesting to see. All right, now let's take a look at the Superintendent of Public Instruction. Republican Michelle Morrow has won the nomination from the Republican Party and will be facing off Catherine Truitt in this said election. So, yes, then again, beating Truitt by just a little bit. You'll see Truitt performed best in the said black belt over here. However, I would say, yeah, she even performed best in the, is it a he or Catherine Truitt? Yes, Morrow performed best in, like, Truitt performed best, like, yeah, even in Raleigh, over there, and also in Mecklenburg County, but ultimately it was just Morrow picking up counties from central North Carolina. Once again, everyone lives in central North Carolina. Most of those voters are conservative. That's what makes North Carolina a red state. She also picked up Wilmington, also a pretty good conservative city that's still actually loyal to the Republican Party for the most part. So, yes, that's what pretty much brought the nurse and former homeschooling cooperative teacher Michelle Morrow miraculously winning against the incumbent superintendent. Ouch. So this was an upset. I don't know what happened, but I don't know what happened in the primary, but yeah, I think no one voted, but actually some people did. But yeah, it's surprising. We have Mo Green. Well, maybe she's a rhino or something. Is she a rhino? I don't know. But yeah, she lost, and she must have lost for a reason. Bo Green winning the nomination for the Democrats, defeating Katie Edding and Kenan Crumble. Both Crumble and Eddings both carried a county. Congratulations. Actually, no. Let's see. Despite doing, 24% for Eddings. Eddings carried 2 counties right here and here. And Kenan Crumble carried the right here, this county. I don't know if it's Hulk or not. Let me know if you're from North Carolina. We're talking a lot. We're spending a lot of time with you guys because you guys have a lot of races. But yeah, that's a superintendent of public instruction. Taking a look now is Steve Troxler, who is the incumbent commissioner of agriculture. He pretty much nailed the bar, winning said the nomination by 69.1%. He carried every county except for these 2 counties. They were more of a headbutt challenge with each other. And it doesn't seem as if there was no split ticket, because it was just Troxler and his opponent, Bear Hammonds, who ended up carrying only 2 counties. I mean, it's best to carry something and bring it home with you instead of going home with nothing, which I would call it a waste and just bad run. I would say, okay, good game. We lost, but hey, at least we got something. I would be happy at least to bring something home instead of bringing nothing home. And that's how I kind of see it. Sarah Tabor, the agricultural consultant, ran pretty much unopposed. Next, we go on to the Libertarian. No, not the Libertarian. The Libertarian nominee is Sean Ha, but the Commissioner of Labor, this is our second to last, but this race is in the Republican Party. We have Luke Farley as the Republican nominee and Braxton Winston II, the Democratic nominee. Farley managed to win this race by 6 points past the threshold of 30%, thus said beating his opponent John Hardister by around 8 points. It's a good margin. He ended up Hardister managed to carry counties in orange, like you'll see. He won areas past Raleigh, like west of Raleigh area, over here, and then Stanley won counties in gray over here. That ultimately brought Chuck Stanley to a margin of 21.6%. Ultimately, I think it was more of a split ticket between Stanley and Hardister. But yeah, if Farley didn't win 36%, there would have been, or just past 30%, there would have been a runoff, unfortunately. Democratic nominee Braxton Winston II won unopposed of the nomination. Charlotte, and he's also the Charlotte City Councilor. So that ultimately got him the nomination from the Commissioner of Labor. Our last race, hopefully our last, or we'll see if do we have any Supreme Court races. Hopefully not, because that'll just make the video longer. But yes, we got Mike Cosley, who's seeking re-election, versus Natasha Marcus. Now, Mike Cosley won this election by 60%. He had won every county except for this county right over here. Kind of had a hard time with his vote. They kind of resisted him a little bit. And then that county ended up going to Andrew, actually went to Robert Bawley, who won 17.5. Despite Andrew Marooks winning 21.9%, coming in second place, he won nothing. And Robert Bawley must have rallied enough support to carry this county. He must be from this county, by the way. He just has to be from this county because, Barley is the former state representative, and he was a candidate for governor in 2016. So that was interesting. Natasha ended up winning 77.6%, winning pretty much, crushing David Wheeler by a whole lot. So look at this. So yeah, a pretty much a landslide for Natasha Marcus. And is that it for today? Let's double check. Because I want to cover some Supreme Court elections. If not, oh, I spoke too wrong. All right, yeah, we have more elections. Glad I checked. I was about to end the video. Supreme Court seat 6. So it looks like Alan Riggs from the Democratic Party won this election by 66.1%, defeating Laura Kristen Kubich, who ultimately lost by a huge margin. But guess what? Kubich managed to carry some counties and bring it home to him or her. Laura, yeah, sorry, her. So this county up here, some counties in the Black Belt over here. So interestingly enough, Allison Riggs, incumbent and former Court of Appeals judge. We might actually hope we can kick him out, but her out, excuse me. Jefferson Griffin is the Republican nominee. He faced the nomination unopposed. He's a Court of Appeals judge. I'm hoping, since we've done really good in 2022 with the Supreme Court, we can knock out this Supreme Court judge, Allison Riggs, and completely occupy the Supreme Court. But we'll see. Maybe people like Miss Riggs. Court of Appeals seat 12, it looks like both Carolyn Thompson and Tom Murray won their nominations unopposed. The Democratic Party nominee, Carolyn Thompson, won that. So it was pretty much uneventful. Court of Appeals seat 14. So this is the Court of Appeals, I'm guessing. Ed Elred won the Democratic nominee nomination unopposed. He is an attorney. Incumbent Valerie Zachary won that nomination unopposed. Court of Appeals seat 15, we have the Democratic nominee, Martin E. Moore, an attorney and Buncombe County Commissioner. He won that nomination unopposed. We have Chris Freeman. Mr. Freeman won that nomination by 62.6% against Hunter Murphy. And this is pretty much an open seat. I don't know if this House Supreme Court Justice Hunter Murphy, is running. Apparently, actually, that's embarrassing because Hunter lost renomination. Oof! District Court Judge defeats Hunter Murphy, incumbent. Murphy only carried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 counties. So that means, doing the math right, his opponent, Chris Freeman, who's pretty much a unknown guy from a district court judge, he won 99 counties. He did very well for someone. He did extremely well for someone who's incumbent. He must have been some sort of scandalous sort of Supreme Court justice sort of guy. That would explain his humiliating defeat, what I would call. So, yeah. Okay, there we go. What do you guys think? I think we covered it all. But tell me, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Wait, hang on. Well, we can check just in case, because I don't want to do it again where I end the video and I totally forget a race. Because I'm checking. No, okay. 2024 United States Senate. Nope, no Senate race for Republicans or for the whole entire state of North Carolina. So it's pretty safe to end this video. What are your thoughts on the races in North Carolina? Who do you guys think will crush it overall? Do you think Republicans will still be able to win without their former I would say chairman, who was responsible for the Republican Party's constant victories in the state? But anyway, Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.